Did you know 26 million Americans have kidney disease and most don't know it?
The day I was diagnosed, I didn't know what to do. I called the National Kidney Foundation, and the young lady who answered stayed on the phone with me and walked me through step by step. She, too, was surviving kidney disease, and she showed me there could be life after kidney disease.
Visit the National Kidney Foundation at kidney.org. Now you know.
Good evening and welcome everyone to StoryTales Radio Show. This is Rich Gehlhausen, your host for this evening's program. StoryTales Radio Show is using the ancient art of storytelling to connect the past with the present and preserve our stories for the future. We feature short stories, either on history, fables, real tales, short and tall, some just plain weird and some with a sense of humor, but we always keep it interesting for our listeners. Storytales can be heard on partnering radio broadcast stations, including international radio, digital, HD, and satellite radio, as well as internet radio such as Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Tumblr, and SoundCloud. And you'll find links to our programs on social media such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. To learn more about Storytales, please visit our website at www.storytalesradio.webs.com. Well, tonight's program will be a little history about a classic cowboy song and poem, The Streets of Laredo. And as a special feature for this evening's program, we're very happy to have Matthew-Sabatella and the Rambling Strings Band singing the song that is the full version of the song, The Streets of Laredo, at the end of tonight's program. But first, we'll take a short commercial break and be right back.
What if you got rewarded for every good decision? What if your heart had a special way of letting you know it appreciates your healthy choices?
I've got to get my family to eat more vegetables.
Amazing!
And instead of cooking with butter tonight, I think I'll saute our veggies with heart-healthy oil.
You're a genius!
So really, would your food choices pay off in heart health? Did you know that when you replace bad fats with healthier fats, like those in canola or other vegetable oils, it can lower bad cholesterol levels? And that's good for your heart. Here's a winning idea. Take up the challenge for good health, because the you of the future will say,
Fantastic!
Learn more at heart.org/facethefacts. Canola Info proudly supports the
As I walked out in the streets of Laredo, as I walked out in Laredo one day, I spied a dear cowboy wrapped up in white linen, wrapped up in white linen and cold as the clay. I see by your outfit that you are a cowboy. These words he did say as I boldly stepped by. Oh, come sit down beside me and hear my sad story. I'm shot in the breast and I know I must die.
Welcome back to Story Tales in Progress. I'm your host, Rich Gehlhausen. The song "The Streets of Laredo," also known as the Cowboys Lament, is an old American folk song or ballad and is considered to be a classic cowboy song. It's been sung by many artists, sometimes with differing versions, and has been featured in many American movies. It refers to the sad end of a young cowboy in the town of Laredo, Texas, in the Old West, and was originally called the Cowboys Lament. It was first published in 1908 in Jack Thorpe's Songs of the Cowboys with just 2 verses. A longer version was published in 1910 in John Lomax's Cowboy Songs and Other Frontier Ballads. But neither Jack Thorpe nor John Lomax took credit for writing the lyrics. The old-time cowboy Frank H. Maynard of Colorado Springs, Colorado, who lived from 1853 to 1926, claimed authorship to a revised version of the Cowboys Lament, but in fact we're really not sure who the original author was. Now, here's one version. As I walked out in the streets of Laredo, one day, I spied a poor cowboy, all wrapped in white linen and cold as the clay. I see by your outfit that you are a cowboy. These words he did say as I slowly passed by. Come, sit down beside me and hear my sad story, for I'm shot in the chest, and today I must die. 'Twas once in the saddle I used to go dashing, 'twas once in the saddle I used to go gay. First down to Rosie's, then to the card house, got shot in the chest, and I'm dying today. Oh, beat the drums slowly, and play the fife lowly, and play the death march as you carry me along. Take me to the valley, there lay the sod o'er me, for I'm a young cowboy, and I know I've done wrong. Get 6 jolly cowboys to carry my coffin, get 6 pretty maidens to bear up my pall, put bunches of roses all over my coffin, roses to deaden the clods as they fall. And then swing your rope slowly and rattle your spurs lowly. Give a wild hoop as you carry me along, and in the grave throw me and roll the sod o'er me, for I'm a young cowboy, and I know I've done wrong. Go bring me a cup of cold water, to cool my parched lips, the cowboy then said. But before I returned, his soul had departed and gone to the roundup. The cowboy was dead. We beat the drums slowly and played the fife lowly, and bitterly wept as we bore him along. For we loved our comrade, so brave, young, and handsome. We all loved our comrade, although he'd done wrong. Well, now we'll take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Whoa, a new digital music player. Thanks, Mom.
Oh, I'm glad you like it, because I can't wait to toss the big stereo. And now that we got your dad that big HD TV he wanted, we can throw out our old TV, too.
Hold up. You can't just throw out electronics.
Really?
They need to be recycled or donated.
And how would we do that?
It's so easy, Mom. Today, recycling electronics is just as easy as buying them. GreenerGadgets.org has all the info. We just enter our zip code to find a certified recycling center nearby. There are thousands of them, and new ones are being added all the time. Some of our local stores are even certified recycling locations.
I like that.
Did you know that some of the stuff in our old electronics could be used to make new products and conserve natural resources?
Well, okay then. Let's gather them up. What was that website again?
GreenerGadgets.org. We just enter our zip code and go.
As I walked out in the streets of Laredo, as I walked out in Laredo one day, I spied a dear cowboy wrapped up in white linen, wrapped up in white linen and cold as a clay. I see by your outfit that you are a cowboy. These words he did say as I boldly stepped by. Oh, come sit down beside me.
Well, welcome back to StoryTales in... Welcome back to StoryTales in Progress. I'm your host, Rich Gehlhausen. So the song, The Streets of Laredo, or the Cowboys Lament. I doubt that we'll ever really know who the original authors were, but the song might be primarily descended from an Irish folk song of the late 18th century called The Unfortunate Rake. That's a tune that also evolved into a New Orleans ballad called St. James Infirmary Blues. Now, this song refers to a young man dying from disease. There are many versions of this song. And here's one version. As I was walking down by the lock, as I was walking one morning of late, who did I spy but my own dear comrade, wrapped in flannel, so hard is his fate. Had she but told me when she disordered me, had she but told me of it at the time, I might have got salts and pills of white mercury, but now I'm cut down in the height of my prime. I boldly stepped up to him and kindly did ask him why he was wrapped in flannel so white. My body is injured and sadly disordered, all by a young woman, my own heart's delight. My father oft told me and oftentimes chided me and said my wicked ways would never do. But I